Monday, November 1st. Here are my best bets in the NBA. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot, and we're ready to get after it. It is November 1st, and we're going to keep going like we have been in October. We're going to do the rest of the NBA season. Drop your best bet in the comments down below, and if it cashes, maybe we'll get shouted out in tomorrow's video. But let's recap yesterday. We went 3-2, our 5th straight winning day, and it should have been so much better. We added LaMelo Ball's over and assist on Twitter, so make sure you're following us at Calling Our Shot. The Jazz covered pretty easily. De'Aaron Fox, our best bet, covered. Now our 2 losses, Miles Bridges, who took his points and rebounds. Well, we should have taken his PRA line, so the PRA line cash, points, rebounds didn't. Lakers minus 11.5. Yeah, if you had that bet, I'm sorry, because the Lakers had a 28-point lead in the 4th quarter. Yeah, they choked it all and only won by 10 points, so what can you do about that? We have 9 games on the slate so far today. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider clicking that subscribe button. We're only 250 subscribers away from 12,000. We appreciate you guys and all your support. Also, click that like button too. It really helps us grow the channel. And last note, Monday Night Football, Chiefs versus Giants. Best Bets is live. It will be linked down below in the comment section. Let's start again. We're going to try to make it another winning day, go for 6 in a row, which would be insane. So we're going to start with my best bet, which cashed yesterday, moved it to 2 and 3, got off the snide. We're starting with Nikola Jokic, over 43.5 PRAs, minus 105 on Caesar Sportsbook. Now, Halloween is done, but you can still dress up as the Joker today because the reigning MVP, he survived an injury scare earlier this season, and he's been cruising along. He's been doing pretty decently. He's averaging 24 points per game, 15.2 rebounds per game, and 6.2 assists per game. And that includes 2 games. One game he played only 15 minutes. Another game he only played 25 minutes. One for injury, one to a blowout. I don't see the Grizzlies blowing out the Nuggets today. It's just not something I see happening. And Jokic, he has played 30 or more minutes in 4 games this season, and he's hit the over in 3 of those 4 games. The one miss, he ended up with 42 PRAs, so finishing 2 PRAs short. But let's talk about this matchup, and here's his game log in PRAs in his last 5 matchups versus the Grizzlies. He had 44, 70, 50, 43, and 51. So he's cashed in 4 or 5, one miss being he finished on the hook in both directions. So 4 or 5, not too bad, but I know there's turnover in the NBA. There's always new teams and new players. So let's look at his PRA log versus Steven Adams, the starting center for the Grizzlies. 47, 52, 49, 52, 44, 54, 42, 55, 48. Yeah, a lot of numbers. I'll put them all up on the screen. He's cashed in 8 of his last 9 games versus Steven Adams. I think it's clear Steven Adams can't guard him. He's much too quick, and he can dribble the ball, and his athleticism, yeah, no, it's no chance. So if you want to put Jaren Jackson Jr. on him, well, Jaren's going to get posted up nonstop. So I love Joker tonight. I think he's going to do pretty well, over 43.5 PRAs. Line's a little bit too low. Love the man, love this bet, and we're locking it in. Let's move on, and that's why he's my best bet. Let's move on to some spreads and over-unders, and we're going to stay in this game. I'm going to take the Nuggets money line, plus 105. This game's a virtual pick'em, and you guys know I like Jokic already, so I'm going to ride with the Nuggets, and here's a couple more reasons why. Now, the Nuggets currently sport the 2nd best defensive rating in the NBA. Now, the Grizzlies support the 2nd worst defensive rating in the NBA. So they support 29th. The Nuggets have beaten the Grizzlies in 7 of their last 8 matchups, including 2 of 3 on the road, which is where they find themselves today. The only game the Grizzlies have beaten the Nuggets in their last 8 matchups, the Nuggets shot 37% from the field. Now the Grizzlies are missing one of their, if not their best defender in Dillon Brooks still, and it has shown. That's why their defensive rating is 29th. Now the Grizzlies have lost 3 of their last 4 games, including a 26-point beatdown from the Miami Heat that they were at home for. And I like the Nuggets today. It should be a very fun game to watch. We'll have a Ja Morant prop a little bit later, so stay tuned, and we'll be calling my shot a little bit later. But I like the Nuggets, and I'm not going to take them. I think they're plus 1.5, maybe plus 2. I'll take the Nuggets outright, plus 105. Lock it in. Moving on to another spread pick. Hawks, minus 5.5 versus the Wizards. Now, everyone's going to want to bet the Wizards today. They're 5-1. They've been winning some good, close games, and they've been looking very good. I got to give them props. They have looked pretty decent, and I think they're a very under-the-radar team. A lot of people thought, the Wizards, they lost Russell Westbrook. They got Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyle Kuzma. What to expect from this team? And they've really overachieved through 6 games. They're 5-1, like I said. I'm going to take the Hawks, and they're at home, and that makes the world of difference for that team. On the season, the Hawks just 1-3 on the road, and that included an 11-point loss to this very Wizards team and a 28-point loss to the Sixers that they've lost their last 2 games. So it's odd to see a team favored that's lost their last 2 by 5.5 points, especially against a team that just beat them by 11 points. But the Hawks should come into this game motivated. In their last 2 home games, and their only 2 home games this season, they won by 16 points to the Mavericks and 18 to the Pistons. Since 2020, They are 29-17 against the spread at home, which is where they are today, the second best in the NBA. And they quietly won their last 4 games versus Washington when they were in Atlanta. So I think they'll cover this 5.5 points. Trae Young, John Collins, probably due for another good day. Clint Capella, hopefully can get going. He's had a couple weird games so far. But I'll take the Hawks minus 5.5 in this matchup. Moving on to an over-under, Magic Timberwolves. Taking the over, 215 points, minus 110 on BetMGM. Now, we cashed the over in the last Magic game. It was versus the Pistons. It was an ugly one, got a little bit lucky, but today I hope we don't have to get lucky because this is a super low line against the Timberwolves team that is capable of scoring a lot of points. The Magic currently boast the worst defensive rating in the NBA, and it has showed. The Timberwolves now quietly, they have the 6th best defensive rating, but I don't necessarily think their defense is the 6th best in the NBA. Now, these two teams have gone over this line in 5 of their last 6 matchups, and that includes 2 of their last 3 in Minnesota. The Magic probably play faster than they should, but these two teams are making 3-pointers at a high clip, which is very unexpected as an Orlando native. They currently are 6th and 7th in terms of 3-pointers made, so they're firing up a lot of shots. All we need is a couple of those to go in. We should see a lot of Anthony Edwards, a lot of the Timberwolves pushing the ball in transition, getting Karl-Anthony Towns some good open looks, D'Angelo Russell, etc., etc. The Magic might only be capable of only scoring 100 points, but I think Timberwolves could easily score 120 to 130 in this matchup. So I'll take the over. The big 3, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Karl-Anthony Towns, all get it cooking. We'll take the over, 215 total points. Now, let's move into some player props. We're starting with the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty Barnes, over 24.5 PRAs, minus 115 at Caesars. I can't allow this disrespect. We got to keep riding it. We had the Miles Bridges. We were riding his train. Maybe we'll add him later to the slate. Do not have his over-unders at the moment. But, Scotty, we're going to keep riding you until you hurt us. Now, currently, Scotty Barnes averaging 18 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, and 2.2 assists for a solid 28.2 PRAs over his last 6 games. Here are his following PRA numbers: 34, 31, 32, 17, 27, and 40. So they're taking on the Knicks today, and I don't necessarily know the defensive matchups we will see. Maybe you'll see some Scotty Barnes and OG Anunoby switching off on Julius Randle, and maybe RJ Barrett and then Obi Toppin whenever he comes in. But the Knicks, they shoot the most 3-pointers in the league, and Scotty's a rookie. He's been getting hungry and getting on the glass. And you look at the Raptors team, they don't really have a lot of size on that team. They're going to need guys to attack the rim, box out Mitchell Robinson, etc. Precious Achiuwa, he does get some rebounds, but he's not necessarily normally a guy that goes out there and drops 15 to 20 rebounds. So Scotty Barnes should be able to get us anywhere from 8 to 10 rebounds. I think that would mean the world of difference. He's getting more and more comfortable. He's quietly attempted 17, 14, and 17 shots in his last 3 matchups. It's his first career game in the Madison Square Garden. Maybe he'll get amped up. He's a rookie. I think we'll get fired up, and we'll ride with him until he lets us down. Moving on to another over-under, Ja Morant. I hinted at him earlier. We're taking his under 5.5 rebounds, minus 135. Now, Ja Morant has hit this over in 2 of his past 5 games, 3 of 6 overall, and he's hit this over in 3 of his past 6 matchups versus the Nuggets. So you're right around hovering around 50%, but here's the reason we're taking it. The only 2 point guards this season have hit this over versus the Denver Nuggets. Luka Doncic and Dejounte Murray. Both of those guys known for being great rebounders. Now, Ja, he's not necessarily known for that. I love him, but he's not necessarily known for one of those guys that's going to go out there. You see Luka with 17 rebounds some nights. That's not Ja Morant. Even the same for Dejounte Murray. But if you look at it, the other point guards like D'Angelo Russell, Mike Conley, Chris Paul have all not even gotten close to this 5.5 rebound line. Sharper books have this line at minus 200, and right now we can get it at minus 135, maybe minus 150 on your book. We're getting great value plus EV bet, and normally we've been cashing those at a crazy rate, so we'll take it. Ja Morant under 5.5 rebounds. Moving on to another over-under, Darius Bazley under 12.5 points. Minus 115 on FanDuel. If Bazley scores 20 tonight, you know who to thank, because I might have inspired him. Maybe he's watching the video out there. Hi, Darius Bazley. But the Thunder, you know how bad they are on the road, and I don't want to keep riding their team total under because this Clippers team is an absolute mess. But Darius Bazley has not looked all too good this season. For Bazley in particular, now the whole Thunder team has been bad on the road, but Bazley alone, he's only hit this number 2 times in 6 games so far this season. Both games he shot 14 times. Like other games, he's shooting 7, 7, 11, and 7 shots. So the 2 games, of course, he shoots 14 times. He's probably going to hit this over. But the other games where he isn't as aggressive, he scored less than 8 points in all those other matchups. Could he come in and destroy this number? Yes. It's only 12.5. He's an NBA player, and he quietly was pretty good last season. We cashed some bets with him. But last 2 notes, in his career versus the Clippers, He is 0 for 5 on this line, never hit it, and that includes games he shot 7, 8, 12, and 5 times. Very similar to how many times he's shooting this season. And you look at it, the last note, the Clippers currently are allowing the second fewest points per game to opposing power forwards, Darius Bazley's position. Nicholas Batum should be active, probably be the guy that guards him, and I would say he's an above-average defender, so we'll lock it in. Darius Bazley under 12.5 points. Love that bet. Now, calling my shot time. We've been a little bit, up and, you never know. So we're going to ride with Scotty Barnes. And here's what we're doing. No three-pointer and 15 points. Now, this is same game parlay action on FanDuel, plus 210 value. And I got to shout out Dominic. I shouted him out yesterday. You look at Scotty Barnes, and look at these two things. They're kind of like going against. We're betting on a guy not to hit a three-pointer, but also to score points. Kind of goes against each other, which is why it's plus 210 value. But Barnes has only hit a three-pointer in 2 of his 7 career games, and half the time he's not really shooting many threes. He shot less than 2 threes in all seven games. He's had a couple. He's only shot 1 three-pointer, and then he had a game where he didn't even attempt a single three. Now Scotty has also scored 15 points 5 of his past 6 games, and this specific bet has cashed in 3 of his past 5. So getting plus 210 value on a bet that has cashed in 3 of 5 games, I like it. Now, if Scotty Barnes goes out there and drops 2 threes in the first quarter, you know who to blame, because that always happens when I take unders and threes. But I like Scotty Barnes, obviously like his regular props, and I like him to score some more points tonight. So we're locking it in. Scotty Barnes, 15 plus points and no three-pointer. Same game parlay. That'll do it. Like I said, Monday Night Football, best bets on the screen. Go check it out. It is a great video. And I have my another player prop and a spread and over-under pick in that one. We appreciate you guys. Let's try to see if we can make it 6 straight winning days. Let's get after it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at CallinOurShop. Maybe I'll add some plays there as the day goes on. This has been Austin, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.